Was it last year? Maybe it was 2 years ago. Hey y'all, my name is Nat. I hope you're having a terrific day today. And for this video, we are going to be doing the end of year book tag. All right, before you get into anything bookish, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below, as well as tell me in the comments what is one book you are determined you will get read before the end of the year. All right, so this is one of those tags that feels like it's just sort of necessary to do. I believe this was originally created by Ariel Bissett, and I'll put a link to her video in the cards as well as in the description down below. Jumping right into the questions. First up, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Thankfully, I have been pretty good so far in staying on top of my currently reading. So I don't think there's any books that I can say for this apart from what I'm currently reading. I guess arguably I could put Legendborn by Tracy Deonn on here. That was a temporary DNF from earlier in the year, but I don't think that's gonna get touched before the year ends. That's kind of a non-official answer. Next question. Do you have an autumnal book to transition you into the end of the year? I made quite a stack, but honestly, that was just way ambitious. So in reality, this is my more manageable stack, including some that I kind of have to get read at this point, like I don't really have a choice. For example, first up, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, which I'm gonna be buddy reading with Aoife, and when this video comes out, I should be reading this that week. If I am or not, we'll see. I also would love to read Far Wilder Magic by Allison Saft. I don't know necessarily if this is autumnal, but the cover does put me in that mood. Plus, this keeps getting sold to me as Roy and Risa fan fiction, and I don't know why, but Full Metal Alchemist has fall vibes for some reason in my head. Another one I would be intrigued to try and get read would be Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, and that's because I read my first 2 Grady Hendrix books this time last year. Was it last year? Maybe it was 2 years ago. One way or another, I've been wanting to try out more of Hendrix's work, and they're horror, so of course they fit well for the autumn time. One that I want to get to because I've heard so many people talk about it, and I'm actually apprehensively excited, The Only One Left by Riley Sager. For the most part, I feel like I've really heard mostly positive things on this, and that's fantastic, seeing as how Sager's 2 prior books hadn't done great. Who knows if all that'll happen? I'm hopeful for it though. Another one that I've also heard a lot of things about, Mayfly by CJ Lead. This I've heard is like a female American Psycho, but cut out all of the unnecessary crap. And that has me excited. Because honestly, I read American Psycho years ago. It is still probably one of the most grotesque horror books I've ever read. There's a certain scene that lives rent-free in my head, and I wish I could have it removed. I support women's rights and I support women's wrongs, and this seems like it's gonna be filled with women's wrongs. That's the short version, and there's still a fair amount on there. Yeah, I'm ridiculous, I know. Next question. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? Oh yeah, there were many books coming out in September that I was excited for, so I'm just gonna go ahead and slide those in here because chances are I haven't picked them up yet. The Spirit Bears Its Teeth by Andrew Joseph White. I mean, just look at this cover. Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison, which I am definitely gonna get to in October. I cannot wait for it. A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, which I've been hearing pretty much only positive things from our reviewers so far, and that has me very excited. In October, first up, Wrath Becomes Her by Aiden Polidoros. Again, look at this cover. Stunning. Honestly, the blurb that got my attention was Frankenstein meets Inglourious Bastards. I gotta read that. I'm so interested. Also, on a completely different note, Iris Kelly Doesn't Date by Ashley Herring Blake, which is gonna be rounding out that romance series. Iris is absolutely my favorite character in that friend group, and I cannot wait to see her romance. Finally, What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. Again, the blurb alone had me adding this to my TBR. The Mummy meets Death on the Nile. The Mummy is one of my all-time favorite movies. Of course I want to read this. And then finally in December, I am on the hype train as well. Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross comes out on December 26th, and I cannot wait. Next question. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? I could just give you the trilogy alone and leave it at that. For the Daevabad trilogy by 𝗖cie his𝘁𝗰𝘁. That feels a little ambitious though, because this is chunky and they get chunkier as it goes on. I want to try and get these read. At the very least, the first 2. Then I could just like finish out the series at the start of next year. That would be great if I could. Apart from that one though, I could also say Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas, because I had a really good time with the Hacienda and I'm intrigued to see more from this author, especially because vampires and vaqueros facing off on the Texas-Mexican border. Come on. That sounds so good. I gotta know. Next question. Is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Maybe. I do have very high hopes for the David Bad trilogy. I've heard so many positive things. It is on my 5-star predictions list, but this would be going up against the Locked Tomb series. That's some stiff competition in itself, but there's always a possibility. You never know. Next question. Have you already started making reading plans for 2024? Of course I have. I'm a crazy person. Starting at the top, I already have my Valentine's Day video planned out. I am hopefully going to be actually starting reading books for it here soon. I have part of my next 5x5 filmed that is fantasy specifically. I'm also really excited that I'm going to allow myself to actually be able to start some series next year. I've been doing my best to try and not start any and purely focus on finishing them. But even with that, I still have added to my list. Gonna kind of give myself free reign to start into them again, so long as I actually stay on top of them. And then finally, I think with trying to start new series, I'm also gonna let myself officially dive into the canon Star Wars books. That's gonna be a project. I have like an entire list broken down. It's gonna take a hot sec because I'm gonna make things easy and start with maybe one of those a month. But even with that, this will probably take like 3 years to get through. And again, I'm only focusing on the canon books. I'm not even looking at the legends. That would take so much longer. But yeah, I'm a textbook overplanner, so of course I've already started for next year. All right, y'all, so that is it for today. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. I have all my socials as well as a few ways you can support me linked in the description. I come out with videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!